Hey everybody, it's Jeff back with another weekly installment of the most interesting coin auctions. These aren't the ones that necessarily sold for the most, but have the most interesting backstory. And I always include comps and really where the price should be versus where it's sold, so you get a sense of the trend in the market. Looking at the first auction, I want to actually bring an eBay auction because I tend not to talk about eBay, but there's a couple interesting ones here. This first is a very popular seller for small cents. If you like buying small cents, you probably recognize Mike's Mountain Values. Very good seller. I bought at least 5 or 6 coins off him over my collecting career. He's always very efficient at getting a ship to you. Really top-notch seller. This one, he always grades with NGC. I'm guessing he sends a lot to NGC. And whether or not you believe a conspiracy of people who send a ton of coins in under one account, did they get better grades? I don't know. How they called this a red brown is a bit beyond me. It's not even nicely toned necessarily to maybe justify if it's got some really dynamic, colorful toning. Sometimes they call the proofs red brown. Sometimes they call them brown. To me, this really looks like a brown proof, but it is a very tough year. As you can see in the pop report, NGC has just 39 in the grade, 18 finer, and PCGS is 54 in the grade with 17 finer. And the price guides are a bit different, which is kind of surprising. You can see NGC has this at 1200 and PCGS at just 900. In comps, there really haven't been any sales of this since 2018 that I could find. So it's a rare proof. For those who are trying to collect every year of the Indian cent proofs, this would definitely be one to keep an eye on. It's a well-deserved 65. Again, I don't know if it's a red brown, but either way, it's a very nice coin. But even the comps are 700 to 950 for a CAC. PCGS CAC sold for 956 back in 2018. Well, this one sold for 1,325, which again just gives you a sense of how solid the market is right now. This one, I thought this was just an interesting auction because as you could see that picture of him holding the coin, there was really not a single quality photo of this slab straight on. I had to go back because this coin, exact coin, sold April 7th of this year at Heritage Auctions for $1,170, which as you could see is just a smidge above price guide. And clearly when the person got it, they must not have liked it in hand. Because they turned around, posted on eBay for a 99-cent starting auction. So I've personally done some 99-cent starting auctions on eBay and had really mixed success. I'd say some have turned out great, others have turned out terrible. But it takes a fair amount of kahuna, so to speak, to buy a coin for $1,170 and then a month later post it with no reserve 99-cent starting bid on eBay. But amazingly, he was rewarded for it. Sold for $1,255. Now, when you really break down net of fees, you could see even with roughly a 10 or 12% eBay fee, he still ended up losing $65. But if the thinking was he got this coin, once you see it in hand, maybe he didn't like it as much. You can't really return it to Heritage that I'm aware of. Maybe he just decided to turn around and sell it on eBay and hope for the best. All in all, the fact that he was able to effectively get his money back was a success, but just an interesting auction to watch. The third auction, and this one by far is the flip of the year, if not the flip of the century, but it comes with some curiosities here. As you can see, just an absolutely stunning Oregon Trail commemorative half. I mean, of course, one of the most popular, if not the most popular designs, and honestly, just hilarious toning. But 68 plus with the CAC sticker. As you can see, there's just 2 in the grade, none finer with a price guide value of 20,000. Well, this coin ended up selling on Great Collections for 31.5. So well above, 60% above the price guide. Now, the price guide is I'm sure, a best swag by PCGS because there was no recorded sale by the other coin. So 20,000 might have just been their best guess. And obviously the market's telling you it's closer to 32. But why this coin is interesting, because I was looking on Great Collections. This was actually in the Tuner of the Week video a couple weeks ago. And this exact coin was in a Mint State 68 CAC holder and had sold for $49.45 in October of 20 on Great Collections. This exact coin, you couldn't mistake the toning. So obviously someone must have bought this coin, cracked it out, and essentially sent, I don't know if they cracked it or sent it in for regrade, but they were able to get into a 68 plus holder, send it back to CAC, and got another CAC sticker. And obviously, as you could see, made an absolute ton of profit. Now, why I said this has some curiosities, because I screenshotted the 68 sale when this was in a 68 holder, and I go back to Great Collections, and now mysteriously that previous auction sale is missing. So I don't know if it was somehow a typo and maybe my eyes deceived myself, or maybe Great Collections noticed. I don't know. But in fact, if it were true, if they really did put it in a 68 holder and upgrade to 68 plus and essentially make 22 grand, good for them. If not, either way, this was an extremely strong sale versus price guide. And then perhaps the one coin I think is the most undervalued for the rarity of it is this 19 or 1816. So in other words, it's 205-year-old coin with true original mint red luster on the obverse there. This is a well-deserved red brown, in my opinion, for a coin this old, and really just 15 in the grade with 7 finer at PCGS. Really a stunning coin. And I took a note that this is red brown. Of course, you consider a red color to be finer. And there was just 2 in 64 red with none finer. So really, this is an extremely rare coin to be able to buy for really, I guess, to quote unquote, just $3,250. I mean, I think this is a fantastic deal. You know, there's got to be at most a couple that are still raw in this condition floating around. And I'm sure there's some at NGC that might cross over. And looking at the past comps, there's a couple in a similar grade that sold in 2020. As you can see, the first did not have a CAC sticker, sold for $2,340, so well below price guide. And then NGC one had a CAC sticker and sold for $2,644. So the market saw this coin and saw how nice it is, because neither of the two comps had any true red in it, in my opinion. This has at least 50 to 60% red on the obverse, I would say, and sold well compared to the comps, but just at PCGS price guide, I could definitely see this coin holding value, if not gaining value over time, as people maybe shift their mindset from the crazy toners to actual true rarity. I think this is an undervalued coin. Auction 5, this one is intriguing because, as you can see, there's 6 in the population with none finer. This is one of the semi-key dates of the Indian Head series. I know 77 is the key, but these 08S and 09S are kind of the next backup keys. But this is the finest and definitely a true red, mint state 67, but not CAC stickered. But what's interesting about this, there's 6 of them. And as you can see, April of 21 and January of 21 on Heritage Auction, there were 2 sales. Both were different coins. Both sold for $21,600. There was also, in February of 20, as you can see, a $36,000 sale in Great Collections. That was not CAC. Really an outlier, all things considered, when you compare it to Heritage Auctions. And this one sold more in line with the Heritage sales at $23,000, or well below the PCGS price guide. But what's so intriguing about this is there's a grand total of 6, and 4 of them have sold within the last year on all different coins. So really an interesting scenario, because typically if you get top pop with just 6 in the grade, you're not going to get a chance to buy 4 of those 6 in a calendar year. So very interesting. And then the last coin, this again happens somewhat often on Great Collections, where someone will put a starting bid at a very lofty price and hope for the best. This monster coin here, 1919D, 66 full band, it's top pop. As you can see, there are 6 in the grade with a price guide value of $155,000. And you could see the past sales through PCGS, the most recent of January 2019, but that was a CAC sticker, not toned really. I mean, it has soft golden tone, but not colorful like this one. But this exact coin actually sold on Great Collections April of last year for 126,000. And they obviously held it for a year and are trying to flip it. Now they aren't starting it the bid at zero. The starting bid's 135,000, and it ended with no bids. So 135,000 was a starting bid, and if you include the 12.5% buyer's premium, that would have gotten it really close to that PCGS price guide of 155. Maybe they're thinking the market's stronger, but what I've noticed is if you start your bids at a high price, you're much less likely to sell it versus starting it at, say, $1 or some very low price to get people interested and start bidding. And then you're more likely to actually get a higher price when people, more than 2 or 3 people are invested in that coin and really want it. They're more likely to bid it up in this hot market. So obviously this is the ultra conservative route. It's going to be interesting to see because Great Collections will relist the coin every 2 weeks to see how long this goes without selling and if they ever do lower the price. So that's all I have for this week. Thanks for watching. Take care.